So an experiment is the process by which an observation or measurement is obtained. So example for experiment: record an age, toss in a die, record an opinion, whether it is yes or no, toss in 2 coins. So all these are comes under experiments. So for each experiment, you have events. That is, a simple event is the outcome that is observed on a single repetition of the experiment. The basic element to which probability is applied. One and only one simple event can occur when the experiment is performed. So this simple event is denoted by E with a subscript. So that is, the subscript is E1, E2, so on so forth, En. So if you have n events, n simple events, then those are denoted with E1, E2, so on so forth, En. Each simple event will be assigned a probability measuring how often it occurs. So that is, for each simple event, we are defining a probability, and the total probability gives you always 1. So the set of all simple events come together gives you a sample space, and the sample space is denoted with yes. Let's see one of the example. So that is, the die is tossed here. So one die is tossed, and that is a simple event. So here you will get the events are E1, E2, E3, so on so forth, E6. The total sample space defined as S equal to E1, E2, E3, E4, E5, and E6. And we can represent this one in a Venn diagram with a sample space S with all the simple events. So when you throw a die, an event is a collection of one or more simple events. So here A is an event here, that is an odd number. So here you have 6 events, E1, E2, so on so forth, E6. So A is an event that is an odd number. So what you have to take? E1, E3, E5. And B is an event. What is that simple event? A number greater than 2. So that comes as E3, E4, E5, E6. So here you don't have E2 in A as well as B. So I am representing this one in a sample space S with events A and B, and E2 is outside of A and B. So this is the representation for this example when you are throwing a die and you have 2 events A and B. So 2 events are said to be mutually exclusive if when one event occurs, the other cannot, and vice versa. Means when you are tossing a die or throwing a die, so I am taking 2 events, simple events A and B. What is A? Observe an odd number, and B is observe a number greater than 2. So for A, observe an odd number. So your events are E1, E3, E5 only. For event, simple event B, observe a number greater than 2. So what is the events? E3, E4, E5, and E6. So these two are not mutually exclusive because their intersection elements, common elements, simple events you have, that is E3 and E5. Okay, so E3 and E5 are there in A and B. So you can say these two are not mutually exclusive. Let's see one more example, C and D. That is, C observes 6, means you have only one event E6. And D is observe a 3, means only E3. So C with singleton element E6 and D with singleton element E3. So in that case, you can observe that these two are mutually exclusive. Now observe B and C. What is B? Observe a number greater than 2. So what is your elements? E3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. So you have 4 elements, and in C what you have? Only one element, that is 6. So there is a common element in B and C, right? So they are not mutually exclusive. B and C is not mutually exclusive. Now check for B and D. So D with E3, and E3 is also in B. So clearly these two are not mutually exclusive. So we are defining as if n is infinitely large, we are defining the probability that is within A will occur, that is probability of A, we are writing as limit n tends to infinity f by n, where f is number of times A occurs by total number, that is n. So probability of A equal to limit n tends to infinity f by n. So we can define in a other way also probability definition. So you can observe that if the event never occurs, then probability of A becomes 0, and if it occurs, the total probability gives you 1. That is, probability of A is always 1. The probability of an event A is found by adding the probabilities of all simple events contained in A, because in the total sample space A or S, so you have a different simple events like E1, E2, so on and so forth, E6 when you are tossing a die. So to find the total probability, you need to take adding all the probabilities from E1 to E6. So finding the probability, so that is example, toss a fair coin, then probability of head. So when you are tossing a coin, you know that, so you may have head or tail, that is with equal probability 1 by 2. So probability of head gives you 1 by 2. Now next example, so 10% of the US population has red hair. Select a person at random, that is probability of red hair. So that is given as 10%. So obviously your probability of red hair gives you 0.10. Now let's see with two coins, that is toss a fair coin twice. So the probability of observing at least one head here. See here. So first coin is head or tail, and when you are throwing second coin, so your combination gives you head head, head tail, and for second coin tail you will have values tail head and tail tail. So combination of all these will give you the total sample space yes. Yes, with E1, E2, E3, E4 as elements. Now probability for each EA is 1 by 4. Now what you have to find here? The probability of observing at least one head means you should have at least one head when you are throwing two fair coins. So that is, you can observe here head will have when H and H, HT and TH, but not with TT. So what you have to write? Probability of E1 plus probability of E2 plus probability of E3 only, because it is consisting of heads, at least one head. So 1 by 4 plus 1 by 4 plus 1 by 4, that is 3 by 4. See here, now you have one more example with M&Ms with different colors here. So a bowl contains 3 M&Ms, one red, one blue and one green. So a child selects 2 M&Ms at random. What is the probability that at least one is red? So what is your combinations here? So first M&M with one red, one blue and one green color. And the second M, so you will have combinations that is total sample space, red, blue, red, green, and second one blue, red, blue, green, and third combination, last one, green, blue, and green, red. So you have total 6 sample space, and each probability, that is probability of EA gives you 1 by 6, and total probability is 1. And now what is your problem? What is the probability that at least one is red? So identify all the samples with involving red color. So that is first one, second one, third one, and sixth one. First, second, third, and sixth only involving red color. So your answer is 1 by 6 plus 1 by 6 plus 1 by 6 plus 1 by 6, that is 4 by 6. So in this way, you need to find the probability. So already you know the definition for probability, that is number of simple events in A by total number of simple events we can take. So that is in general we used to write with M by N, so probability. MN rule. If an experiment is performed in 2 stages with M ways in the first stage and N ways to accomplish the second stage, then there are M into N ways to accomplish the experiment. So we can generalize this one like up to K stages with the number of ways equal to N1 into N2, so on so forth, Nk. So when you are tossing 2 coins, the total number of simple events is 2 square. So that is 4. Let's see one more example. Toss 3 coins, then obviously you will get the simple events, that is 2 cube, that is 2 into 2 into 3, 8 events. When you are throwing 2 dice, the total number of simple events, that is N of S, is 6 square, that is 36. Right? In this way, we can write the MN rule. You know the formula for permutation, NCR, N factorial by N minus R factorial, and NPR, N factorial by R factorial into N minus R. You have examples for NCR and NPR. Coming to the event relations, when you have 2 events A and B, then A union B we can represent in Venn diagrams. A union B with the sample space S, A intersection B is the event that both A and B occur when the experiment is performed. We write this one as A intersection B. If these A and B are mutually exclusive, then probability of A intersection B gives you 0. Now coming to the complement part. So if A is any event, then the part A complement we can represent in Venn diagram. So that is A, probability of A plus probability of A complement gives you 1. So probability of A complement is 1 minus probability of A. Now calculating the probabilities for unions and complements, that is additive rule for union. So if A and B are any 2 events, then probability of A union B is probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. If A and B are mutually exclusive events, then probability of A intersection B gives you 0. Then probability of A union B is probability of A plus probability of B. As I told you, probability of A complement gives you 1 minus probability of A. Now, independent events and dependent events. If two events A and B are said to be independent, if and only if the probability that event A occurs does not change depending on whether or not the event B has occurred. So if A is dependent on B, that is B is already occurred and A has to be, in that case, the conditional probability comes into picture. That is conditional probability, that is probability of A given B can be written as probability of A intersection B by probability of B, and the probability of B is not equal to 0. So this is the definition for conditional probability for two events A and B, given that B is already occurred. So if A and B are independent, then this conditional probability can be rewritten as, that is, two events A and B are independent, then probability of A given B is equal to probability of A only, and probability of B given A is equal to probability of B. So probability of B given A equal to probability of B means A is already happened, but A and B are independent. So that probability of B given A we are writing as probability of B. So multiplicative rule for intersections. Already you have additive rule for unions. Additive rule for unions, that is probability of A union B equal to probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. And now multiplicative rule for intersections. So that is probability of A intersection B equal to probability of A into probability of B given that A occurred. That is probability of A into probability of B given A. So if they are independent, then the probability of B given A can be written as probability of B only. So probability of A intersection B is equal to probability of A into probability of B, provided A and B are independent. Now law of total probability, that you can write using the conditional probability, that is probability of A equal to probability of A intersection S1 plus probability of A intersection S2 plus so on so forth, probability of A intersection SA, where S1, S2, so on so forth STN are mutually exclusive and adjunctive events, that is one and only one must happen. So using the conditional probability definition, we can rewrite this one as that is equal to probability of S1 into probability of A given S1 plus probability of S2 into probability of A given S2 plus so on so forth, probability of Sk into probability of A